Akashvani presents Morning News. Good morning. I'm Anuja Kumar. The headlines. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to distribute 70,000 appointment letters to newly inducted recruits during Rozgar Mela this morning. Union Home Minister Amit Shah to chair meeting with Ministers of Disaster Management of States and Union Territories in New Delhi today. G20 Development Ministers conclave in Varanasi adopts India-backed action plan on sustainable development goals. Third G20 Framework Working Group meeting under India's Presidency to get underway at Kochi in Kerala today. Government agencies gear up to meet challenges arising out of Cyclone Biparjoy. Landfall likely near Jakhau port in Kutch district of Gujarat on Thursday. And Indonesia Open Badminton tournament begins in Jakarta today. Top Indian players including Sindhu and HS Prannoy to be seen in action in the opening round. And now the news in detail. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will distribute about 70,000 appointment letters to newly inducted recruits during Rozgar Mela at 10:30 a.m. today through video conferencing. Mr. Modi will also address the appointees on the occasion. The Rozgar Mela will be held at 43 locations across the country. The recruitments are taking place across central government departments as well as state governments and union territories supporting the initiative. The new recruits selected from across the country will be joining the government in various departments. The Rozgar Mela is a step towards the fulfillment of the commitment of the Prime Minister to accord the highest priority to employment generation. Union Home Minister Amit Shah will chair a meeting with Ministers of Disaster Management of the states and union territories in New Delhi today. The day-long meeting will also be attended by Union Home Secretary Ajay Bhalla, along with senior officials of the Ministry of Home Affairs, National Disaster Management Authority and National Disaster Response Force. The meeting is taking place as cyclonic storm Biparjoy looms large over the eastern and central Arabian Sea. According to sources, during the day-long meeting, the Home Minister will ask all the states and union territories to get prepared to counter all possible natural disasters. Considering the challenges before India in disaster management, the meeting will also focus on preparedness to deal with the next phase of these challenges. The government agencies have geared up to meet the challenges arising out of Cyclone Biparjoy. The cyclone is likely to make landfall near Jakhau port in Gujarat's Kutch district on Thursday afternoon as a very severe cyclonic storm. The India Meteorological Department, or IMD, said coastal districts of Gujarat are likely to receive heavy rain tomorrow and day after. Senior scientist in IMD, R.K. Jenamani, said heavy to very heavy rain are expected over Kutch, Devbhoomi, Dwarka, Jamnagar, Porbandar, Rajkot, Morbi and Junagadh districts.
Prediction is that it will reach the Saurashtra and Kutch and Pakistan coast by 15th June noon, and it will make the landfall between Mandvi, that is Gujarat, and Karachi, that is Pakistan, near Jakhau port, that is our Gujarat. And during the landfall time at the noon, it will cross as a very severe cyclonic storm, and the wind speed, maximum sustained wind speed, likely to be 125, 135, gusting to 150.
Yesterday, Prime Minister Narendra Modi chaired a meeting to review the preparedness of ministries and agencies under the centre and Gujarat government to deal with the situation arising out of the impending cyclone. Mr. Modi directed the officers to take every possible measure to ensure that people living in vulnerable locations are safely evacuated by the state government. The Union Home Ministry is also reviewing the situation 24/7 and is in touch with the state government and the central agencies concerned. The National Disaster Response Force has pre-positioned 12 teams. Indian Coast Guard and the Navy have deployed ships and helicopters for relief, search and rescue operations. The National Crisis Management Committee under the chairmanship of Cabinet Secretary Rajiv Gauba also reviewed the preparedness. Meanwhile, the Western Railway has cancelled 90 trips of various trains till 17th of this month due to the cyclone. Most of the trains are short-terminated or short-originated at Ahmedabad or Rajkot. Chief Public Relations Officer of Western Railway, Sumit Thakur, said they have made various arrangements ahead of the cyclonic storm.
इससे निपटने के लिए पश्चिम रेलवे ने अपनी पूरी तैयारी कर ली है और सारी सुरक्षा के इंतजाम किए जा रहे हैं जिससे इस साइक्लोन का मुकाबला किया जा सके। इसके तहत हमने अपना डिजास्टर मैनेजमेंट कंट्रोल रूम जो हमारे हेडक्वार्टर में उसको एक्टिवेट कर लिया है। साथ ही साथ हमारी इमरजेंसी कंट्रोल रूम हमारी जो डिवीजन है और हेडक्वार्टर्स है वहाँ पे हमने एक्टिवेट कर दिए हैं, जैसे कि भावनगर, राजकोट, अहमदाबाद, गांधीधाम इत्यादि इलाकों। कुछ पैसेंजर ट्रेन को कैंसिल भी किया जाएगा और कुछ ट्रेन को शॉर्ट टर्मिनेट भी किया जाएगा।
The G20 Development Ministers conclave in Varanasi has adopted an ambitious 7-year action plan put forward by India to accelerate progress on the Sustainable Development Goals or SDGs by the G20 countries. It also adopted another document that aimed to enhance cooperation and partnerships for sustainable lifestyles to complement climate mitigation. In a press briefing on the conclusion of the meeting last evening, External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar said the two outcomes found unanimous support at the G20 Development Ministers conclave.
One is a G20 action plan on accelerating progress in the Sustainable Development Goals. The second is a G20 high-level principles on lifestyle for sustainable development. These two outcomes were agreed to by everybody. The action plan put a very sharp focus on women-led development for achieving SDG goals.
More from our correspondent.
Addressing the media about the outcome of the meeting, External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar said that India has become the voice of Global South and it has tried to raise the issues of financial gap and debt challenges regarding achieving the Sustainable Development Goals. Talking about the major change brought by India after getting the G20 presidency, he said that India's approach has brought development back on the focus of G20 and raised hope for the Global South countries. Jaishankar said that the participating delegates welcome the address of Prime Minister Narendra Modi, who is personally involved in the issues related to SDG and climate change, and the address of PM actually set the tone for discussions. Sushil Chandra Tiwari, Akashvani News, Varanasi.
The outcome documents adopted by the development ministers will be submitted for consideration by the G20 leaders at the grouping summit to be held in New Delhi on 9th and 10th of September. The third G20 Framework Working Group meeting under India's presidency will get underway at Kochi in Kerala today. More than 75 delegates from G20 member countries, invitee countries and various international and regional organizations are participating in the two-day event. The Chief Economic Advisor to the Union Ministry of Finance, Dr. V. Anant Nageshwaran, and the UK's Deputy Director of Treasury, Tom Hemingway, will jointly chair the meeting. The Framework Working Group meeting will deliberate on the current global economic outlook, macroeconomic implications of food and energy insecurity, and also on the macroeconomic impact of climate change and transition pathways. This is Akashvani giving you the news. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle at AIR News Alerts. On the completion of NDA government's 9 years in office, Akashvani News brings you a series of special stories on the initiatives taken by the government. Today, we take a look at Prime Minister's Development Initiative for Northeast Region, PM Divine Scheme. The scheme was implemented with a view to create infrastructure, support industries, social development projects, and create livelihood activities for youth and women in the Northeast region. Our correspondent has filed this report.
PM Divine was announced by Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman in her Budget 2022-23 speech to address development gaps in the northeastern region.
A new scheme, Prime Minister's Development Initiative for the Northeast, will be implemented through the Northeastern Council. It will fund infrastructure in the spirit of PM Gati Shakti and social development projects based on felt needs of the Northeast. This will enable livelihood activities for youth and women, filling the gaps in various sectors. It will not be a substitute for existing central or state schemes. While the central ministries may also post a candidate project, priority will be given to those posted by the state states.
The scheme is yet another instance of the importance being attached to the development of the region by the government. The objectives of PM Divine are supporting social development projects and enabling livelihood activities for youth and women. It also funds infrastructure convergently in the spirit of PM Gati Shakti and addresses the development gaps in various sectors. Suparna Saikia, Akashvani News, Delhi.
The BJP has accused several non-BJP state governments of not giving due benefits to backward classes as envisaged constitutionally and discriminating against them, including on the ground of religion. BJP leader and Union Minister Bhupendra Yadav cited a recent report of the National Commission for Backward Classes, NCBC, to accuse the Rajasthan, West Bengal, Punjab and Bihar governments of discriminating against the OBCs. He said BJP government at the centre gave the NCBC a constitutional status and took many steps towards social justice. Mr. Yadav alleged that Congress, TMC, AAP, RJD and JDU never gave OBCs their due and even opposed to providing reservations for them. He said wherever the Congress and these parties are in power, OBCs are being discriminated against. The National Investigation Agency, NIA, has released over 2 hours of CCTV footage of the attempted vandalization of the Indian High Commission at London in United Kingdom by anti-national elements. NIA has appealed to the public to provide information regarding the people seen in the CCTV footage to the agency in the public interest. The NIA has released the CCTV footage of the attack and given a WhatsApp number +91 729 000 9373 seeking information on the vandalizers while promising to keep the identity of the informant secret. Indonesia Open Badminton tournament begins in Jakarta today. Top Indian players including PV Sindhu and HS Prannoy will be seen in action in the opening round of the tournament today. In women's singles, 2-time Olympic medalist PV Sindhu will open her campaign against local favourite Gregoria Mariska Tunjung. In the men's singles, world number 8 and 7th seed HS Prannoy, who won the Malaysia Masters last month, will face Japan's world number 11 Kenta Nishimoto in his first round match. India's men's doubles pairs of Satvik Sairaj Ranki Reddy and Chirag Shetty will play Francis Christo Popov and Toma Junior Popov, while M.R. Arjun and Dhruv Kapila will be up against Malaysia's Ong Yu Sin and Tiu Ye Yi. In women's doubles, Teresa Jolie and Gayatri Gopichand will meet Japan's Rin Iwanaga and Kai Nakanishi. The tournament will conclude on the 18th of this month. And now for a look at today's newspapers, it's over to Subhadra Ramachandran.
Thank you, Anuja. All the dailies have cited the news of the Prime Minister holding a meeting on the preparedness of the impending Cyclone Biparjoy on their front pages. The Indian Express says cyclone approaches, Gujarat evacuates thousands, shuts ports, PM holds meet. SC bans bike taxi in Delhi till new policy, writes the Pioneer. Hindustan Times adds, drivers in a fix leave cab firms, start deliveries. In a double delight for economy, inflation at 25-month low. Industrial growth jumps is a front page headline in the Economic Times. Ram Temple may open between January 17 and 24, reports Hindustan Times. The Asian Age reports government denies any COVID breach. Data safe. The paper adds, Health Ministry says no basis to report mischievous in nature investigation on. And finally, the Times of India informs, out of 500 city locations, Chandni Chowk in the national capital emerging as one of the hottest destinations in the country for shooting films, web series, documentaries and commercials. With that, it's back to you, Anuja.
Thank you, Subhadra. And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to distribute 70,000 appointment letters to newly inducted recruits during Rozgar Mela this morning. Union Home Minister Amit Shah to chair meeting with Ministers of Disaster Management of States and Union Territories in New Delhi today. G20 Development Ministers conclave in Varanasi adopts India-backed action plan on sustainable development goals. Third G20 Framework Working Group meeting under India's Presidency to get underway at Kochi in Kerala today. Government agencies gear up to meet challenges arising out of Cyclone Biparjoy. Landfall likely near Jakhau port in Kutch district of Gujarat on Thursday. And Indonesia Open Badminton tournament begins in Jakarta today. And with that, we end the morning news. Have a nice day.